Hey guys, welcome back to Weeb101. I'm Brew. I'm here with Audie and Sid. And today we're talking about One Piece. Now, One Piece is a very special manga for us, for all three of us. Well, it's actually the first manga Audie read, which he really loved. And Sid and I have been following it for the last, I think, 7, 8 years. And
Probably the only manga I've followed up properly and am still up to date with.
exactly. And I think One Piece is just holds a special place in all our hearts. And we really, really wanted to do a podcast about One Piece. Now, this may go on for quite a while, but I think it's warranted. One Piece is something that deserves a lot of attention and a lot of time because we have a lot of thoughts just because of the sheer size, the sheer beauty of everything related to it. So let's see. When did we start reading One Piece? I think I had read Naruto and I saw One Piece and I didn't want to read it because I was like pirates, nah. And then I started reading Bleach. And after I finished Bleach, I was like, yeah, might as well try this One Piece thing. That was 2011 or 2012, I think, one of the two. And since then, I've been reading it. Yeah, so I started around 2012 or something. I think Sid started around the same time. Sid, when did you start?
Yeah, I don't remember when I started because like we used to talk about Naruto early on when we met, and after that you told me about One Piece. Like you told me check out this show called One Piece, and I started watching the anime, and I don't know why, but like when you like legally buy and download anime, I ended up with the
Hmm.
Toonami version with the one where
Oh
Sanji
yeah,
had like a lollipop and like the yayo like the kids rap. And I think
yeah,
I started with that, and I still liked it. I don't know why for that. I still liked it. I kept watching it. I think I saw the animated like the war, and then
yeah.
after
You did that far?
yeah, you don't remember? I used to watch only
No,
the
I
anime
actually
till the
don't.
war. Yeah, and then after that, I was like, I want to know what happened. Let's start reading the manga. Then I started reading the manga, and then later on, I went back and read everything from the beginning. But yeah, I was someone who started reading the anime, but it was
What
really
about you? When did you start reading One Piece?
I think I started reading One Piece around 2015, 2015, 2016 ish. Because I
It was me, wasn't it? You got in because of me. I know. You're welcome.
yeah, truth be told, I was never really interested in reading manga or any comic for that matter. The only experience I had with comics at the time was Asterix and Obelix and Tintin at best. But then Brew was very persistent at the fact that he wants me to read at least One Piece, this pirate comic or manga, as he had mentioned at the time. And I was deflecting it a lot, and then after a while, I just decided to give it a try, and it seemed to have hooked onto me ever since.
Well, already, actually, now that you mentioned it, I just got a sudden memory of our time in college.
Hmm.
Um, I actually remember we were talking with all our friends,
Uh-huh.
and someone was throwing away Maggie, and I was like, you know what? Don't throw it away. Give it to me. I will eat it. I don't want to see food being wasted. I don't like seeing
Oh
food
yeah,
being
yeah, yeah.
wasted.
Ah.
And you were like, huh, that's really good. I like that about you. You don't waste food.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, actually, I got that from this manga called One Piece.
Okay.
And you were like, huh, he said so.
So like,
And
I must admit, though, that single ideal is one of the many things I've taken away from One Piece. Like, obviously, we'll get into greater detail through this podcast, but like one of, as since you brought it up, I have seen wasting food at that light now. Through Sanji's story, I always imagine the kind of pain he went through his story that was being shown through in his section. And every time someone wastes food, that always comes to mind. And yeah, I've been seeing it from that light now.
now we've established that we've been reading it for a while in our most our cases. So what is it about One Piece that you like? Well, for me, I think overall the story is just one of the most masterfully written stories in literature.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are crazy about Harry Potter. A lot of people are crazy about so many more stories, Lord of the Rings. And I'm not saying that bad. Of course, I'm a fan of Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
too.
Hmm.
I'm a fan of all that. But I think One Piece has held a special place in my heart because of how long it's being run, because of how Oda has mastered the art of, writing a story in the manga format every week, giving enough to tease you, but not enough to actually show anything. I think that is something really commendable about Oda. What do you guys think?
I think so normally writers don't give a lot of life to many small characters. One thing I've noticed in One Piece is that in every arc, the small characters are given that kind of life. So, like for Thriller Bark, for example, they show zombies as the grunt sort of enemies that roam around the ship and keep
Ah, the
attacking Luffy.
fodder.
Yeah, the fodder. And at the start we are told that they are like regular zombies. They just
Hmm.
go at the enemy and just brainlessly try to attack them, but then throughout the entire arc we see that these zombies are actually a creation of Moria's ability, and that these zombies once had a character of their own. So there was the samurai zombie. He had Brook's shadow in him. uh, Sorry, there will be a lot of spoilers because we are
Oh
going
yeah.
really in
Spoiler
depth
alert
into
for
this.
most all the
Spoiler alert
episodes
from
we
now
do.
on.
I don't think the Moria arc can be considered a spoiler. It's been out for like
No, I
15
mean there
like
will be
years.
people
So
who
Yes.
I think
It's
this
still
podcast will be going towards people who are fresh into
mm,
the One Piece story as well. So you might as well put out a spoiler alert.
okay, wait, hold on. Then from this point onwards,
no.
there will be a lot of spoilers, which we're not going to, we're not going to think of it as spoilers because
Yeah.
it's been years for
Yeah.
us. But if you're just trying to read the manga, then please know that there are going to be spoilers, and we are going to discuss things up till the latest chapter. But if you've already caught up, then well, you can hear our thoughts about it
Yeah.
anyway.
And you can join
Sid,
in on
what do
the
you think?
discussion. Yeah.
Hmm. And yeah, like
So I
at the beginning there is no character to these zombies, but then throughout this arc we see characters like the samurai, we see Absalom, and then we see Ors, and these guys have so much character into them, even though they are not that important not very important characters throughout the arc. And we find out that even in later arcs they show up as this thing. Does O's show up in the Marineford War, or is
No,
it?
that's Joe's Junior.
no.
Joe's
Yeah.
Junior is in Whitebeard's crew.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Was in Whitebeard's crew.
But yeah, basically in every single arc, Oda highlights these small characters, and we see these small stories going side by side with the main plot line that is Luffy and beating the bigger guys like Moria in Thriller Bark, for example. And that is one of the main reasons why I like One Piece so much, because at the end of every arc, when we know that Luffy is going to beat him, we also see smaller characters gaining their own little victories here and there, and that kind of brings like a that ties up all the ends that were in that story at the time. Each arc kind of brings a proper ending every time it ends.
I agree with Audi when he talks about when he talks about how these different characters and stories have been created. It reminds me of a quote by Miyazaki that I really love, where he says, "The creation of a single world comes from a huge number of fragments and chaos."
Ah,
And that's what Miyazaki's done beautifully. He's created this whole new
mm,
world. Which is only based on like these rebels, pirates. Opposing the order that's been set, the rules that's been set by the world.
yeah,
I think in that stage as a teenager when you're reading it with all the angst you have, you're like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's read. Oppose
yeah.
them.
It just
Pirates are
fires you up
cool.
like
Come on.
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Inspires you. And like even if we don't talk about the other characters and like the crew, right?
Mm,
How each member of the crew is revealed and their dreams and what they stand for and what they're fighting for. And you were talking about how we learned like how you learn to like stand and fight for things you believe in.
yeah.
It gives you that hope.
Mm,
And because of that, and he used such like inspirational stories like to build up into the main arc. It's a simple thing. It's a pirate finding treasure. We've seen countless films of pirates looking for treasures,
yeah.
right? Why is this one
Mm.
different? And you know why this one is different, because it's basically more about
Okay.
the characters. It's more about the people and their journey.
Ah,
They're not looking for, they may be look. they're looking for their own. Basically, they have their own dreams that they try to achieve in this journey. They all have their own things they want to achieve, right?
Yeah,
Each character, and that's why they're joining him on this journey.
yeah. They're not following.
So it's not about the goal.
Yeah, they're not just following him. They're out to do their own mission. They're out to do their own main goal in life.
Exactly. They're out to do their own goal in life, which may sound selfish, but they are also together and
Hmm.
helping each other and going on this journey together, which removes that aspect.
Yeah.
And they have difficult moments, they have hard moments, and they have these different adventures. They go through these new worlds. I love the early arcs. Like it's some of my favorite parts of One Piece. Like Arabasta, the Skype
So
arc,
I
Thriller
think the
Bark. I
Skype
love when
arc
he's
was
like,
probably the best
oh,
among them all.
it was amazing. Yeah.
Like a sky,
These
they just hinted at Sky Islands throughout the earlier arcs, but then when they
mm,
actually he introduced the Sky Islands, I was just mind blown because at that point anything was possible, and I just I think at that point I realized that Oda could literally do anything with the story, and he could just go from anywhere at that point forward, and I was like, I can't wait to read more after that.
Adi, it's actually very interesting that you
yeah, but
mentioned that because most people don't like the Skype arc. They think it's the worst
I
arc.
thought that really they thought that was the
what?
worst arc. How
It's
come?
amazing.
A lot of people hate the Skype arc and the Water 7 arc.
Dude,
What?
so okay.
Water 7 was amazing, dude.
Water
Come
7 is
on.
beautiful. I think
Yeah. Oh, it was
the Skypia
heartbreaking.
arc was probably the best because the villain was also pretty
Hmm.
damn good. The villain Enel, they show him using
Yeah.
observation haki or mantra as they call it.
Yeah, so yeah, as I was saying, most people hate the Skype arc and the Water 7 arc. They think it's like a very weak arc, both of them, which
How
they don't. Which sometimes people prefer to skip
weak?
Skype
How?
arc.
What?
So
Why
I don't
skip it?
there you
understand
go.
why. Like, why do they hate it? Like, what do they say? Have you read that?
Uh, they they just think. I mean, this is obviously just comments
Yeah.
I've read on Reddit, so I'm not really sure. But most people don't like the arc because they think it's too
What?
slow. They think NL is too OP. They think that
Luffy.
Luffy
Okay,
won by
No
so
way,
luck.
dude.
the one thing I realized is
I mean, technically Luffy did win by luck because I mean he was lucky to have the devil fruit that countered Enel, but then
it's
it's
not
not
just luck.
just luck,
Okay,
right?
so
He still has to
at least
use a
Yeah.
lot of his
it was
brains.
coincidence that he happened to be fighting a thunder fruit user, but the fact that okay, so there was a part in the arc, one fight where he realized that he could use his strength as a rubber man very properly against him, but then he tried to muscle against Enel, and Enel just kept dodging all of his attacks. Enel later on said that he could just predict his attacks 1 second before it landed on him. And then Luffy had this. Luffy normally would this thing fight his way till the end, but then this one time he decided to use his brain, and he was like, "Okay, what if I hit the wall behind me and make my shots extremely random to the point where even he can't predict it?" And that was a big growing moment for Luffy, which and it changed his whole character. Like from at that point, I thought Luffy was a lot smarter than he was, and like he was just that lazy to just think of it all the time. But this time he wanted the tactical edge over Enel, and this time he was like, I shall think.
Yeah, he also tries to not think, and then he says, "Oops, I
Yeah.
forgot to attack."
Yeah.
There will be multiple times where he'll be too frustrated to think about anything and just punch it. Rather, it's the much easier way out, obviously. But then
Yeah.
this one time he was like, okay, I'll think about it for 1 second, and I'll try to go at him strategically, rather than doing it the usual way. And I don't know if people didn't see that or not, but I feel like that is one reason why Skypia was probably one of the better arcs. But
Hmm.
everyone has their own opinion at the end. So
Yeah. The Skype is amazing. And when you were talking about Water 7, right?
hmm,
Water 7 is such a good arc. Come
Uh,
on.
it's
yeah,
it people
Dude,
like the Water 7 arc to
Robin.
when it leads to the
Yeah.
Ennis lobby arc, but they don't like the Water 7 arc
Yeah.
itself.
in the
Oh,
sense
they
that
don't like
just
the.
the
They don't
stuff
like the
happening in
first
Water
part
7.
of the arc.
Yeah, they don't like being at. They don't like that Usopp and Luffy fight. They don't like the
What?
Frankie interactions. They don't like that.
But that was a growing moment for the Straw Hats as a crew.
Anyway, okay, we've talked about the arcs you like. What's your favorite arc if you're looking at it that way?
Dude, my favorite arc
Is
out
Wano.
of
I think
everything
Sid will
is
say Wano.
no, no, it's not Wano. Surprisingly, it's not Wano. Even though you
Wow.
expect, I love Wano.
Okay,
It's amazing.
for those who don't get it, Sid loves
Oh,
Japan and he loves
dude.
everything Japanese. He knows the language. He watches videos of Japan all the time. And when the Wano arc started, Sid was
He's
floored.
also like
Damn.
He was just completely
it was
taken.
based on the
Eh,
Edo design. I love Edo. Yeah,
Well, okay, Sid. So which is your favorite arc then?
yeah, I love the Edo era, dude. Come
Yeah, of
on.
course. That's why I thought you'd like Wano.
My favorite arc is Arabasta. I love that arc, dude.
You like Arabasta the most?
Yeah, I have a
Have have you guys seen that
dude, I
meme
have a
which
tattoo
shows
from the
the
Yeah.
Arabasta arc.
yeah, but it's just like I didn't think you like the arc specifically. More like that moment was really good.
Ah,
No, I love the whole arc, dude. I love the because it was like the first time I was watching one. Like it was like one of their first adventures, so to say. After they got
Yeah,
before they got Robin and after they got like their first version of the crew. It was like their first adventure. They go to this
yeah,
like
yeah,
cool kingdom, which is like it's so exciting, and they fight Baroque works, all these Mr. Sunday, Mr. One, Mr. Zero, like these interesting characters and all these guys have like one-on-one fights and there are such cool characters, dude. There's Crocodile who was cool as shit at that time.
Would
There's
you guys like to know an
Mr.
interesting fact?
good.
What?
Vivi was never meant to be a princess. She was actually supposed to be a
What?
random person who worked in Baroque what? I forgot
Barack
the
works.
Baroque
name.
works.
Baroque works,
Hmm.
and she was supposed to be killed off
Oh,
in one of the fights, but
What?
I think the editor decided to exclude that part of it and make Vivi a more important character so that she could play a main
damn, that was
role in
one
the
hell of a
Arabasta
decision.
arc.
Yeah, it was pretty good decision. Even though Vivi has some funny things like the little finger weapon that she has is quite funny. But it was a very cool arc, dude. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it. And dude, Bon Clay, such an amazing
but
character. Come on,
Yeah, yeah.
some amazing characters,
Uh,
and
of
the
course, of
all the
course.
battle. It was an amazing arc. I just loved that arc. I had a very good experience watching it at the time that I watched it. At the age that I was. Yeah, so I still remember it being very memorable. And that last part where they lift up their hands. Come on.
Have you seen the meme that shows the similarities
what?
between Batman and One Piece? Have you guys seen the meme where they
No.
show the
No.
similarities between the Batman last Nolan Batman movie and One Piece? So it's basically both the cities have taken over. The people are against the law enforcement, and then there are people who are revolting. There's a bomb which one character takes and flies away
Oh
with.
damn.
It's just
Yeah, it does.
they show a
Yeah, I
lot of the
need to look at that, dude.
similarities.
It
When I
seems
was first time I
interesting.
read,
Yeah.
it, I was like, shit, damn, that makes sense.
Hmm.
Similarities.
Yeah, dude, it's
Yeah, they
cool.
have a lot of that arc and the third Batman movie has a lot of
That makes
yeah, a lot of
sense.
similarities, a lot of similar plot plot points. I would say more than just similarities because you could write it in a way where it could apply to either one
Yeah,
if you don't include the
I
character
think.
names.
Uh,
Yeah, you can like if you write like a general summary, you could cover either one.
Yeah, it could cover either one. Yeah, it's
That
really
makes
interesting.
sense.
Anyway,
Yeah, dude. But
Audi, what's your favorite
before
act?
that, I
Arc?
wanted to say like most
yeah,
of the arcs that I love, right? Other for some reason they're all like in the Grand Line.
Yeah,
Like I love the Skype arc, I love the Thriller arc because I love Gecko Moria. You guys know that.
yeah,
So
of
most of
course.
the arcs I love. I still love like the war. I still love Impel Down. I still love a lot of.
yeah.
I love Wano right now, of course. But
Of
my
course.
favorite arcs were the ones I saw like in the early days. The ones in the Grand Line where it was still new and they were still discovering and finding. their own stories and going to these new areas. It was more of an adventure exploration kind of theme, and I totally loved that. So
I think
obligate.
it also has to do with how we were growing up while reading
Yeah.
it, so it affected our younger minds in better ways.
That's
I
true.
mean, maybe we won't feel the same if we had started One Piece now and we continued till the Wano
Yeah,
arc.
yeah, 100%. Audi.
But yeah, Audi, what do you which arc is your favorite?
Dude, I really can't tell. I don't have like a proper decision on which arc would be my favorite. I'd say that Arabasta would be one of my favorite arcs. Skypiea was also one of my favorite. You
That's
know what? For the sake of conversation, I think Skypiea was probably the best arc in mine.
really, why do you like the
Yeah,
Skype arc? That's like a hot take in the One Piece
Because
world. It's not something that you hear too
because
often.
the Sky Island was something that was that started around what when Bellamy
Yeah,
was introduced, I think, or was it
before
before
Bellamy,
Bellamy?
before Bellamy.
Yeah, and yeah, well before Bellamy, the Sky Islands were introduced, and it was this thing of wonder that I thought, like, okay, it's a place that they are never going to reach, and it's never going to happen. And the day we realized that they are actually going on the way to Sky Island, and I was very much against the fact that they would ever end up on the Sky Islands and they would just crash down and continue their journey on the bottom sea. They landed, and the illustration that showed the Sky Islands, it blew my mind straight up. And from that point onward, I just thought, nothing else. I'm in uncharted territory here. This guy could do literally anything with this, and from that point onwards, he just kept adding more and more things onto it. Like the villain Enel, a thunder god, a literal thunder god. He made him look like Raijin. So for those who don't know, I have mythology is one of my interests as well, and Shinto mythology, Greek mythology. These are I really like to look up and learn more about them. And when I realized that Enel looked a lot like Raijin with the drums on his back, I was just I was excited because I really really couldn't think what was going to happen next. And when they showed that Enel was this god-like character who was flinging around lightning like it was nothing. When he faced Luffy, he did the exact same thing, and I thought, well, Luffy's toast. What the fuck is going to happen next, right? But then, you know, the expected happened. The rubber counters lightning, and I was like, huh? He didn't get toast. What? He didn't become toast. And then they said it, like rubber doesn't get affected by lightning. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. And then from that point onward, the curiosity went even more, and I was like, I want to see what is going to happen next. And yeah, like as I said earlier, that was one of the points that cemented in the fact that I want to read more of One Piece and keep going on furthermore to see what adventures will come by. And I think from that point onwards, there has not been a single you know what? Ever since I started reading One Piece, there hasn't been a point where I have ever been disappointed by One Piece. Yeah, I just putting it out.
Yeah, I mean that's obvious. Like I think that stands
Yeah,
for all of us and everybody who reads One Piece. There's no way
there's never
Oda
been
has
a
ever
time
there
disappointed.
are
He's
where
always
I've
given more.
seen like there's never been a time where there's monotony. There was never ever any monotony in any arc. There's ever always been some sort of twist, some sort of action. Something good always comes by the end of every chapter, and I really like that about One Piece.
there are some arcs though that like I wasn't happy with. If we talk about that,
Like
Like what?
what?
like I didn't. I was the Fishman Island arc was so boring for me. I was just trying. I was just getting through it. I was just dragging myself through it.
Oh my God, the Fishman Island arc was.
I think that's the worst arc ever
Uh,
that he's written.
But the Fishman Island arc, I think, really proved a point, which was the crew has gotten so much
yeah,
stronger. They were able to beat the
See,
pacifista. Oh my God, what was that?
yeah,
They were able to beat the pacifista. Oh my God, sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, they were able to beat the pacifista. They were able to escape from the Marines. They were able to go to Fishman Island, and Luffy was able to fight them underwater, even though he was in water, like literally in water. He still managed to deal deadly damage to Hody Jones. So
yeah,
that's something that you like. I think it was just an arc which wasn't like as much an adventure or risk, but was like
That's what
you
I'm
know,
like. That's what
this
I
is
wanted to
how
see,
much
right?
they've
That's why we were
grown. Not
waiting
a
for the
single
new arc.
person
Like,
had a
show us
problem
that
in that
power
arc
so
while
strong
fighting.
they've gotten. But how much Oda delayed it to show that? Like, I couldn't wait. I was like, come on, I want to get to that point where they
So
fight.
like
Yeah,
the
they did
one
show
thing
the powers.
so the one thing I noticed that I think around the time they revealed Aokiji showed his powers in the most flashy ways possible by freezing a fucking ocean in front of him with his hand in the water. And at that point, I realized that even the slightest touch of the ocean to a devil fruit user could weaken them like crazy. And at that point, it was unimaginable for Luffy to even touch the water, otherwise, he would drown in it. Whereas Aokiji was able to touch the water and freeze an ocean with it. And in the this thing, Fishman Island arc, they show Luffy punching Surume, the Kraken, outside his bubble. They show him punching him even while his hand is in water. That just went to show how strong they had gotten. That just it was.
Oh yeah.
I was just excited at the fact that Luffy's strength was just not even doubled, but like it became ten
No, he
times. It
also
just
fights
went
Hoodie
tenfold.
in water. Like,
There was a.
it,
I like when they got to the part where they were actually fighting, and I was like, holy shit, all of them are badass. They've gotten so strong. But before that, yeah, it was a
yeah, so
drag.
I don't know how
Yeah,
you were disappointed with that arc in
I
any
also think it
way.
was a bit too
I
long.
also wasn't a big fan of the Big Mom arc. It was too long for me. Even though there were lots of exciting moments.
Hmm.
Like I love Katakuri. I love the characters they introduced there and all. But overall, if you see, I think it was still too long for me.
I think the Big Mom arc did a lot of setup and showed a lot of insane things
And
though.
Yeah.
it's Brew. What was your favorite arc? You didn't talk about your favorite
No,
arc.
I just like to talk about the Big Mom arc right now because you were talking about it. It was so important. It was like it's such a good arc because it showed one of the Yonko, the first one to actually reveal her powers to see why she's a nightmare. It showed Sanji's past properly. It showed the Germa. It showed Pudding and how she got taken in by Sanji even though she
Yeah,
was supposed to betray him. So
but
all
how?
these things are, I think, these things just come together and
Yeah.
make a very good arc, especially since they reveal that Pudding's third eye could
Talent.
read the
There were
poneglyphs
amazing moments, but
somewhere
how
down the
long were we
line.
reading it for? Dude? How long did the Big Mom arc go on for?
It felt really
Yeah,
long because we were in the midst of it and there was no
yeah,
fighting.
exactly.
There were just small skirmishes.
It's a
But
labor of love.
once they started attacking Big Mom, that
Yeah,
is when you knew it
that's
was
like
getting really hype.
those moments were like amazing moments where it came together. But I think that's what we were like waiting every week and slowly, going through it, and it was like a painful time.
Yeah, if you reread the arc, I'm sure it'll be much faster.
Yeah, exactly. If you read all at once, it'd be an amazing adventure. Like I think that's why
Yeah.
I like the earlier arcs more because I saw and read everything like at
You could
once.
read it,
Yeah,
yeah, in one
and here
go.
we're waiting slowly, slowly, which is usually a downside to manga. But what can you do?
This is what I meant when I said I really couldn't make a decision on which was my favorite arc, because the more things you reveal about each arc, like I am just mind blown by each and every single arc. So
That's true.
I really can't tell. Like if you were to tell me every single detail about every other arc, I legit couldn't tell which one was my favorite, because everything was just too good up until now.
Well, I think my favorite arc was the Impel Down Marineford arc because uh, but that it might not for the reason you think. Like
Yeah.
obviously the
Right.
war, Ace, everything it
That
was
that's
really
the
emotional,
fucking arc.
really
Yeah,
like it brought out a lot of raw emotion and it also made you feel the same emotion. But I
yeah.
around a little before that time I think was when I started One Piece.
Hmm.
So I read it all live and because of that I was like okay things are going
Okay.
well and then I was thrown straight into the war and I was like holy shit what's gonna happen next week yo what is it what did they okay, Akainu is fighting Whitebeard is fighting oh my god I can't wait and then you have to wait for a chapter so at that time it was very it was also a little annoying because it's a war and then they said that one Piece would go on a
Yeah.
break for a month, which Oda deserves, obviously. deserved, but I could feel the
Oh,
pain.
true.
1 month I just
Yeah.
sat rocking on my chair like, oh, what, 20 days more, 90 days more, 18 days more.
Holy shit.
But yeah,
That must have
Yeah,
been crazy
at the
exciting.
time these
Yeah,
guys were going
I
crazy
love
about it.
it
I
that
didn't
down. It's an
understand the
amazing
hype
arc.
behind
The
it.
whole arc is
And
an adventure and a
for,
story within itself, dude.
yeah,
Hmm.
and I think now after having read all the chapters, if there was a time skip to come in the middle, I think I'd lose it as well. Now I like fully understand why these guys went crazy behind it.
yeah, it was really, really, that was a crazy
Hmm.
arc. Okay, but who's your favorite character?
Uh, we,
I
we
think
we should have a favorite character for every arc, dude, because there are like
shit.
such amazing
Not
characters.
huh?
But I'm gonna give the normie answer, dude. My favorite character is Luffy.
Oh, Sid. Yeah, sure, you can.
Yeah,
Of course.
I
dude,
think my
because
favorite
Luffy,
character
the
was Ace.
adventures, the things he goes
Oh,
through. Ace is amazing. That's what I'm saying. There are every character you're gonna name, right? Like Mihawk, Whitebeard, Boa Hancock. Like every character you're gonna name is gonna be like, yes, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. There's so many amazing characters in One Piece, dude.
hmm.
I like everyone in the crew except Usopp. But come on.
No, but I'll tell you how I handle this. Of course, I'm of the same opinion. But what I say is, if
Yeah.
you ask me my favorite character, I ask you which arc. Because my favorite character changes
Yeah,
along with the
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
arc. Like in the Big Mom arc,
100%.
I think Brook was like, he pulled his weight over there.
Oh, dude. Yeah. He
Brook was
was
MVP
MVP.
of that arc. Yeah. And
Brook.
it not even for the stealing the poneglyphs, not even for getting out of Big Mom's grasp, just the fact that he said yo ho ho and hit the photo, that itself was enough. Like Brook
Brook was
was
MVP.
MVP for his actions there, and it's the same in different
Yeah, dude. Let's do this.
arcs.
Let's give
Sure.
MVPs for each arc. Let's do that. That's better, I think.
Okay, if we go to the Arabasta arc,
We're not
who do we
starting
like?
from straight Romance Dawn.
No, not from Romance Dawn. That's too.
Arabasta arc.
We need the crew
Bon Clay
together.
is MVP.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Bon Clay was like the best character
Bon
there.
Clay, Bon
Yeah.
Clay.
I think he had the most
I mean,
flavor
obviously
among
Luffy was the best
Yeah.
character, but Bon Clay was,
Agree.
and Crocodile. I think
But come
Crocodile
on,
was a
he
really
stood out.
good
He was amazing.
character as well.
Crocodile pretty much set the precedent for the villains that were going
Yeah,
to come.
Crocodile was amazing.
And while they had revealed like much stronger villains up ahead, we didn't know anything about what was going to come as well. And Crocodile really set the benchmark at that point, which was pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Then after that,
And
what do we
next,
have? My God,
Skypiea.
Skypiea next. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, dude, what was the arc before that? Was it the one with Nami? Going back, I forgot.
Arlong.
What was Buggy's arc called?
Buggy's arc was before all this,
Yeah,
dude.
Buggy's arc was
Yeah, before.
wasn't Buggy's arc right after Don Krieg?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
dude,
Yeah.
I love Buggy.
Wait. No. Not Buggy. Wait. What are you guys saying? Buggy. Then you have Don Krieg. Then you have Arlong.
Yeah, dude, Buggy MVP, amazing
Bucky.
character.
No, I'm not even going to talk about that. That's just too early. But okay, Skypiea, I think I liked Enel the most
Yeah.
actually.
NL.
Come on, hands down. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have are we going to consider the Davy Jones arc, the Davy Jones fight arc,
Davy Jones arc.
It's-
the Davy Jones they have they
Oh,
play and they
the
take each
Foxy
other's
Jones-
crewmates and all that,
Foxy
and
Jones.
Luffy draws them a new
Nah.
the
it's
Foxy
Afro Luffy, right?
Yeah.
Afro Luffy MVP. Then we can.
I actually liked Foxy.
What?
He was a very interestingly made character.
He was very interesting. It almost seemed like a filler the first time
Yeah.
for me, dude. I was like, what is the filler? What's going on? This
Isn't
is
it just a mini arc for the whole series?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mini arc. It's a mini arc that Oda wanted to keep to bridge the gap between the Skypiea arc and the Water 7 arc.
That's true. Okay, then we have, I don't know, Water 7, favorite character.
Favorite character. Does
Water 7.
Okay, NES Lobby is different
Uh,
from Water 7, right?
We can put it in the same thing because it's
Yeah.
technically one big
Then
arc. Yeah.
then
Yeah, we
Lucci.
can put it in the same
Lucci is
thing.
my favorite character.
Damn, I thought you'd say Sogeking.
Nah, I think Lucci was like the unexpected boss villain that is going to be there. I didn't expect
Yeah.
him to come out the way he did. I expected him to
Hmm.
be like another grunt sort of villain with like one good power, but then he turned
Yeah.
out to be the true badass of the whole arc itself, and he shone throughout the arc really well.
Hey, what about the? I forgot his name. What about the giraffe guy? The giraffe guy was cool.
Yeah,
He was, dude. Dude,
Janaga was okay at best.
Luffy was MVP for that.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
Gear
Luffy was
2, dude.
MVP.
Gear 2 and Gatling gun.
yeah.
Come
Yeah,
on.
Okay, was
yeah. Luffy was MVP, but that's not my favorite character of the arc. My favorite character of that arc was the Going Merry.
Oh, dude,
Ah,
100% agree. I
100%.
was gonna
Yeah.
say that. The Going Well is MVP. Holy shit. You're gonna make me cry again, dude. That hurts.
Yeah, that was a very
My god.
emotional
Going
moment
very
indeed.
MVP, for sure. Agreed.
Yeah, well, this does make me think like the development of the story and the crew and the
Yeah.
arcs, they're all so good. What do you guys think about how far we've come and what has happened so
Oh,
far?
it's been an adventure. I don't even know where to start. It's been crazy, dude. Where the story started with him looking for like crewmates, and finding these guys and their own stories, and look at where it is now. It's like a totally different. You can't even comprehend that it would ever reach this place. Like when we were reading
Mm,
it at that time, so much
yeah.
has happened. Holy shit. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
the
It's really hard to imagine that we're here. Yeah, I mean the manga itself has developed so much in terms of story, in terms of characters, in terms of plot, in terms of world building, in everything. It's insane. But
it's developed so much, and even the current arc is like, I think it's the best arc of the second half. I love it the most, Wano. Not only for the Edo references and the whole Edo theme, but it's a very exciting arc because they're fighting Kaido.
oh yeah, the Wano arc
And
is hype. It's hype.
every chapter is
Definitely.
hype, dude. It's like those shitty TV shows you used to watch as a kid where they used to purposely leave cliffhangers, but here the cliffhangers are actually like worth something, and you're like, fuck, that's so cool. I can't believe what's happening. What's gonna
I
happen
think
next?
every character, every chapter in this arc so far has had one big character reveal come out.
Yeah,
Everywhere from like Denjuro and the Big Six coming out. Oh, it's been
yeah.
a real
The Flying Six.
fun
That
adventure
was
so far.
amazing. Yeah.
Mm.
And they had the Roger chapters, dude. That was the best.
To
Okay.
So amazing reading that.
Yeah,
Let's
that was
talk about
really
the
good.
Roger chapters. Audi, come on, tell us. What do you
Dude,
think?
when okay, so like they started off with Kozuki Oden's memories, and I thought, okay, they're showing who Kozuki Oden was, but then they slowly slipped it into being a story about Roger, and they slowly brought back, they tied up all the loose ends of the poneglyphs being shown across the entire series, and that, my God, dude, I couldn't stop talking about it when I first revealed it. Of course, I think this was around New Year's. I think 6 months back
Okay.
that they revealed they started showing the Odin memories, and it was like the Marineford War, right? Like every other chapter, I couldn't wait for it to come out because they were
Mm-hmm.
finally showing so much about Roger. They were finally showing so much about this one man who had this mysterious power to read poneglyphs and write in that language, and now we are finally getting to know more about this guy. And then in the end, they showed Raftel, the final island, dude. The fucking joke, man. Just like Roger, it made me laugh as well. Like this I expected so much, and then it came to be this. You know what? I'll take it. Fuck it. It's damn good.
Yeah, but on that note, what do you guys think of the manga art? I don't think we should talk about the animation because I'll make
One
Sid rage
FPS.
for
That's
two
all
hours,
I'm
and I
gonna
don't
say is
think
one
we have that much
FPS.
time.
This
Yeah,
this isn't
so
a rant podcast.
yeah, so we are
That's
just
for
gonna
another
we're
time.
just gonna skip past the anime
Yeah.
entirely,
Oh,
and we'll talk about the manga art. What do you guys think of the manga art and how Oda has managed to do it well? or how well has he managed to do it?
The manga is beautiful, like the art is, it's so, like, I think you'd agree with me in which it's different from a lot of other manga art. He uses the, like, the traditional manga techniques, if I call those, but he also has his own style. He doesn't use a lot of it. He
Yeah,
likes
if
to
he
draw
he
his
has his
backgrounds
own
like in a very
way of
intricate
doing
way, and
things.
details, and lay out his characters and everything in the background. And I would,
Yeah, and he's notorious for putting Easter eggs
yeah,
in the middle of
exactly.
random
And his
panels.
art is like
So
so intricate and so detailed. Like even in one panel, you have so many different things going on that you have to look at and figure out. Instead of just looking at one thing, one character, one dialogue. Like within a panel, you must have seen panels with multiple characters, dialogue boxes going like up and down. Like he can tell a whole
yeah,
story within a panel. And if we talk about panels where he introduces new worlds,
yeah,
like Audie was saying, the first time we saw Skype, and like when they showed Wano, and when they
To
come
Wano
on,
and
it's
Skype.
like
Yeah, I think
orgasmic, I would
Wano
say.
top was the only thing that topped it. Oh,
No, whenever he shows, like I remember, even though I don't, when he showed the Fishman Island for the first time when they were entering, it looked beautiful. It was so complicated. When they showed the Shirahoshi's palace, I think it looked beautiful. Yeah, I would call it like it's very detailed, very intricate, and he, like,
yeah, it was
even
beautiful.
though I don't know, I don't find it confusing at all. Like it all makes sense to me. Like even though it looks like it's a lot, like reading it is like an adventure. I would say it's very well made manga.
Yeah, Audi,
So what do you think?
what do you think of Oda's art, the manga art?
mm, I think it was very soft at the start, because in comparison, like the post time skip when they showed Luffy and the Straw Hats all grown up, it was very soft in comparison. And
Hmm.
as Sid was saying, like every other panel in the Wano arc has been something. You have to keep looking at everything and just kind of take it in. You can't just look at it once and be like, up, that's it, next page. Like I think the Wano introduction, when they showed the panel, it was like a painting. You could frame that shit. That's how good that. That's how good his
I
drawing
think that
style is.
applies for the whole of One Piece, to be honest. The,
Yeah, I think you know what. Yeah, but then there are like these moments, right?
Yeah.
Like
So,
he draws it out so well that it gets scarred into your brain. I wouldn't say scarred, obviously, but then etched into memory for good.
yeah, etched I think is a better word,
Sorry,
not scarred.
but you get what I'm saying, right? Like like if you think of Wano, then that's that painting, that frame that we saw first.
Yeah,
That's what
of
comes
course.
to
I mean,
mind
it was a
always.
really beautiful shot of Wano right at the start.
and and like now before they showed the
yeah.
Roger stories, I didn't have like a proper way of putting Roger in my head. But then when they showed the panel where they showed Roger laughing, he showed Roger laughing. That has been stuck in my head ever since. Like every time I think of Roger, I just think of this guy who reached the final island, found or put his treasure in that island, called it Laugh Tale, and and he's just laughing. He just has this casual attitude about him, about becoming the pirate king, and that's stuck in my head ever since. And the drawing obviously helped a lot in it. Yeah, I know. It's like every panel's a painting, right?
Yeah, it's like the Kubrick
Just
of manga. Each frame is a
yeah.
painting. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know manga art. I just know theory of what I've read and what Sid has explained to me. But I really think Oda is one of the best in terms of how to present a manga because he knows exactly how much information he can put into a panel, not only verbal but also non-verbal, how much he can hide in the details that people pick up and then start theorizing on. So
Yeah,
Oda is
like
his art is like insane.
Yeah.
It's I
like
think the manga
I'd
art
say
is one
every
of the best
artist
I've
like
seen.
has their every mangaka has their own style, which is distinct, and you look at these and people may say, oh, this is amazing, that's amazing. But Oda stands out because even if you see, I think he does battles the best, because if you see battles, right? If you see something like Kenichi
Mhm.
that we read, or even Naruto that most people have read, if you see battles, it's usually you see the characters and they are the highlights, and the backgrounds are usually like waves and beams and other, and like it's very like singular. Like panels focus on like characters and what they're doing and highlight them and the battles, and then the stories follow, right? But like Oda portrays battles like you're like a bird or you're a fly on the wall over there and you're watching the whole thing unfold. You can see the background, you can see both the characters, you can see the emotions, you can see what's going on outside the other people who are viewing the battle, like you feel like you're in there instead of you're just getting snippets of the battle, which is what you get from other mangas. And not to talk about, people will disagree, but One Punch Man, the manga is literally like you took animation frames, like the panels are like he's punching, then he's punching a
Yeah.
little more, he's
Oh
punching a
God, I
little
hate
more.
that.
That's how you don't do
I,
battles, I would
I
say.
can't stand. Why would
But
you
yeah,
even
that's
mention
what
One Punch
that's
Man?
what
Do
I
you
wanted to
want
say.
me to go on a rant about One Punch Man?
You have you have to talk about what's bad to
Oh
show what's
God.
good.
The One
For
Punch
another
Man
episode.
rant, except Audie loves it. But anyway,
Hmm.
we gone to. Okay, this is gonna be fun. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys what your favorite theory is. What in One Piece do you? What theory that has come up from the fans is something that you believe in the most?
Oh, I think I like it's the most popular theory, but I like it. I like the theory where it's about them where it's about One Piece being them like figuring like achieving all their dreams. I think I like that the most, and I'd be happy if that was the ending. But I'm waiting for Oda to surprise me.
The friendships made
Yeah,
along the way.
because the journey was exciting and fucking amazing, so I
Yeah.
don't mind.
No, this thing like Oda has said that he will definitely give them a treasure at the end.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
Like he put it in one of his SBSs. So someone asked him this same thing. They were like, "Is it going to be lame? Something like it's the friendship we made along the way." And Oda was like, "No, we're actually going to give them a treasure. Of they deserve it after this long." And people were really hyped about it. So whatever you call the One
Yeah.
Piece which Joy Boy left or Roger
Hmm.
found and all that, there is treasure. The treasure is just one aspect of it. But I think the bigger aspect is the Void Century and the weapons and how to use them, which is what we'll be seeing in Luffy's generation. Adi, what about you? What do you think? What is your favorite theory?
I actually, I actually don't remember any of the theories that we've, because I think we've discussed many theories in length, but we've discussed it long back. Could you like catch me up on some?
Oh,
Okay, I will tell you
that makes
my
sense if you
favorite
think
theory.
about it. Yeah.
Crocodile is Luffy's mom.
Ah, yes, yes. Hmm.
Hmm.
So crocodile knows Ivankov, and then they both have some problem with each other. It was Luffy's mom who went, and Ivankov changed her to crocodile.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Speaking of Ivankov, dude,
You
MVP
see
him
their
fell
son
down.
and mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course,
But the-
definitely. Ivankov is just like a beautiful character in general.
dude, are you getting your conspiracy theories from like One Piece Smart or something? I don't know.
No, I'm actually getting it from r/One Piece. I learned about it there. It's a joke, it's a meme, but knowing Oda, he might just make it happen.
No, he will not. I know he Oda memes a lot, but that's not how he memes.
He memes a lot. It's possible. He's
Yeah.
like, hey, this Western world seems to think that Crocodile is Luffy's mom. Well, let's write that down,
Probably
shall
like
we?
one of those
But yeah, anyway,
panels.
what do you guys think of the new war that's going to start? Now, this is going to be insane manga spoilers. We are literally going to be talking about the latest chapters. So, what do you guys think of the new war? The
Yeah.
original war is
Yeah.
Marineford, and everybody remembers
Yeah.
Marineford. It's one of the biggest wars in One Piece so far. It resulted in a lot of very deep impactful deaths, which in turn impacted the manga from that point onwards. So, what do you think this new
The
war is
like
going to
I
be
think
about?
you guys read the latest chapter right in the end. Like Kaido officially announces the start of the war, the biggest
Yeah,
Yeah.
war ever, which was exciting as hell.
Yes.
That panel.
and he very graphically cuts off Orochi's head, which was
Oh,
very
dude, that was
surprising.
graphic. I did not expect that. I should have, but I did not
Yeah.
expect that. I was like, holy fuck.
I think
Also, if you notice in the panel, King holds up his sword before Kaido even does anything. So, with the minute Orochi starts talking, King holds
Yeah.
up his sword, and Kaido just takes his sword and lops off Orochi's head.
Observation Aki predicted that shit.
That's a really fun note. Like King knows exactly what
I
Kaido is
know
going to do.
it's
But
gonna be crazy. The characters that are there right now, the characters that are coming, like we still haven't seen the full potential of the Flying Six, right? There's still a
yeah,
lot, and there's still a lot that's gonna happen, and
Yeah,
we haven't even seen Kaido's full potential, and Big Mom is also there. Holy shit! I think Shanks is also gonna come.
maybe or
I think Shanks is
Blackbeard.
also
One of the
Shanks is
two.
definitely
Isn't
gonna come.
Marco there?
Yeah, Marco's
They,
there. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's gonna be
Marco was
crazy.
there.
Holy shit!
He he toppled over Big Mom's ship, right?
Yeah. My God. I can't imagine, dude. I can't imagine what's gonna happen. I can't imagine how big it's gonna be. I'm just waiting for Oda to like
So
surprise me because I
wait,
know
I'll
it's
let
gonna
Audie
be
speak and then I'll tell you a theory about this. Audie, what do you think about the new war?
Fucking Marco came back, dude. I mean, the fact that Marco came back means that old lots of old characters will come back for this. Like, okay, Rayleigh, for example, they show him off. They treat him like this mentor sort of character to Luffy, and for some reason, I think we've talked about this before as well. You guys think that he's not coming back. He is going to be like a very weak character. Even if he does come back, he's just going to be like a negotiation sort of character, but at best. But he, I have a feeling he's going to play a very big role in the upcoming war. At least him and a couple of other members from Goldie Rogers' crew will probably come back and have like a big part to play in the war. That's what I think, anyways. It's a wild theory from me at least, but
So basically, what Reddit is thinking right now is that the fight is not the main fight of the war is not going to happen in Wano, but it's going to happen in Fishman Island.
what?
in Fishman Island.
Yeah.
Can you
So
explain that?
yeah, of course. So basically, what Kaido said was they're going to get the ancient weapons,
Oh yeah.
and Poseidon is one of the ancient weapons, and they know who Poseidon is.
Oh yeah. Big Mom
Hmm.
does. Oh yeah. Hmm.
This thing Kaido does. He captured Caribou.
When did he capture
Oh,
Caribou?
He gets captured by Kaido. When they go and fight, they
Oh,
get captured,
I don't remember this.
and he gets captured by I don't remember which one, but it's shown in the the stories that are being
Uh-huh.
told in the starting panels, starting pages. It's shown there. So
yeah.
Kaido most likely knows who Poseidon is, and he's going to
Oh,
go
oh.
try to go to Fishman Island and try to take control of Poseidon. And Luffy is going to be fighting over there and in the end destroy Fishman Island, which is what the prophecy was. This is the theory that's going on right now.
I figured the whole information about Poseidon would come through Big Mom because Fishman Island was supposed to be one of the islands under Big Mom's territory or under Big Mom's control.
No,
No,
Fishman
like
Island is
it
under
was
Luffy's
before,
territory
right?
right now.
Before Luffy took it over. So I figured that kind of information
Yeah,
would
yeah,
pass
before.
on one way or the other to Big Mom, and she'd kind of find out, like, yeah, Poseidon is supposed to be Neptune's daughter.
The theory is that he's going to destroy Fishman Island in that way. So it's going to be fun to see. I think the new war will. I don't know if this is the war that will make Marineford look like it's nothing, but we can also assume there's going to be marine intervention here, and maybe that old theory of Luffy dying and Law giving up his life to bring Luffy back is going to happen.
That's big.
Maybe.
I don't. Yeah, I think they've been talking about that. I remember that theory.
Yeah,
I don't know if that'll happen, but seems like a possibility. Seeing that
everyone is there.
Kaido is like OP as hell, dude.
Yeah, OPS
Dude,
hell.
we were talking about freaking NL being OP. Look at Kaido, dude. Holy shit! Literally, the man can't be killed.
The man can't be killed. That's true. He just. I do want to know how Odin managed to deal damage to him, though. That's something that we really should have. They should have. I think we should have gotten more information on how it happened, and if Zoro can do the same thing, like my God, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I can't wait for Oda to give us more info.
Sid, what are your thoughts on the war? What do you think is going to happen?
I have no idea, dude. I'm not expecting anything. I'm just waiting to see what happens.
You must have some idea of what you want to see.
No, I'm not even kidding. For this war, I don't even know what's gonna happen. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just reading the chapters. I'm like, okay, cool, wow, okay, amazing, damn. Hey, do you guys think Blackbeard is gonna show up and fuck up everything like he usually does?
Yeah, I think Blackbeard's definitely going to show himself.
Why won't he? He has two devil fruit powers in his control, two of the strongest ones, mind you. Plus, he has a team of elite pirates on his
Yeah.
roster right now, and he if he is in the
Mm.
one of the main this thing, and he's going to try to fuck shit up at the very least.
Yeah,
If the
dude,
main
and yeah,
opponents are going to be Kaido,
dude, and I
Big Mom versus the Marines, then Blackbeard is going to be like at least the third character that's going to take a part. He's going to butt in, and he's going to be like the third enemy in all of this.
definitely, and I think Kaido's daughter is also gonna play a very big role. Seems like a very interesting character.
Oh yeah, I'm all for Kaido's daughter for Nakama.
Yeah,
I understand
exactly.
now.
Amazing character, dude. Even though it looks like Robin, hey
Yeah.
hey hey,
What was her name again? I forgot.
but
Yamato.
I
Yamato.
think it was Yamato. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now there's also one thing about One Piece which is really special for Sid. It's the only manga with a time skip that he doesn't like, that he likes. You know, he hates time skips. It's one of his biggest
That is true.
annoyances with manga. He thinks it ruins the story. So Sid, what give us your thoughts?
Yeah, I usually hate time skips because I want to know what happened during the time skip, which they usually don't tell us, which I hate. But what Oda did was he told us what happens during the time skip. We got details on what each character was going through. He showed us their journey, their improvements. Even though I like, and they showed Boa Hancock, dude. Come on,
Yeah.
Boa fucking Hancock. Who doesn't like Boa Hancock? And they showed like Sanji learn haki. They showed
Yep,
like
yep.
these cool things. They showed Usopp, the useless guy, become a little less useless, I guess. And like dude, Zoro training with Mihawk, like the time skip, it made sense, when you go through it, makes sense that why they're skipping time, and then they came down and they came back
Yeah.
to Shabodi, I think. And even the part with the imposters, it was a little weird
Mm.
for me, but it was still exciting.
I
But
think the
I
imposters
on
one was done really well. I
yeah,
can't believe people didn't. I am surprised that people even thought that would be Luffy, but
no
I thought
way,
it was
dude.
done
I,
well.
I, I knew that was not Luffy, but the reason I saw all the training and everything they went through, and I was just waiting for them to like let everything out and show the fruits of their training, that I was very impatient about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they did show enough. Sanji and Zoro take out one pacifista on their own, and
Yeah.
Luffy kind of uses haki to blow out everybody.
Dude, but even before before the time skip, like the starting, like the place with Kuma and the members trying to fight him, and like each moment,
Oh,
one person and their
Yeah,
expressions, oh, dude, that hurt. That was a painful moment.
yeah.
I love that. Hmm.
I think that was like the first time they ever showed Luffy being truly helpless. Like he
Yeah.
legit could not do anything against it, and
Hmm.
he knew fully that if he tried doing something, that was the same fate that he was going to get. So he
Oh,
just all he could do was just look and just cry, nothing else.
yeah, you could see their expressions, dude. They're drawn
Yeah.
beautifully. I also love the part, like, you remember when, like, he makes Zoro feel Luffy's
Pain,
pain, the
yeah,
amount of
yeah.
pain Luffy feels. That
Hmm.
that part is fucking beautiful, dude. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, even
Mm.
Impel Down in that way because they show so much pain in everybody's eyes when they're fighting for
Oh
Ace,
yeah,
and you can see the pain in Ace. You can see the pain on Ace's face as well, with because of the through Impel Down also, but especially in the
oh
Marineford
dude,
arc, which is where you see like a very rare death scene in One Piece.
yeah,
People usually don't die, and then you have Ace and Whitebeard going down. Like that was quite a shock. I thought okay they killed Ace, but they won't kill Whitebeard.
yeah,
No, they
dude.
killed
Oda
both of
gave
them.
us a
It was
glimmer
just
of hope,
insane.
and then thrashed
So,
down
like,
upon it. What? In one panel,
yeah, he
one
crushed it. He
fucking
crushed
panel.
it immediately. And the thing is, right? In Impel Down, you get the same ray of hope, and it actually becomes like a proper thing. And we expect it to be the same in the literal next arc, and we're like, okay, there's a ray of hope. He's going to make it out, and then he
Yeah,
just
that's
kills him
true.
off right there.
Yeah.
Which I think we can all feel the pain of that death, of both those deaths.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, it hurts. Even Impel Down was like a roller coaster, dude. Like, cause in the beginning, Magellan defeats Luffy, right? And when they're going to like level 5, they're climbing and they're almost losing. Then they go to like Newcomer Land and meet Ivanov, like another ray of hope.
Mm.
Yeah,
And then in the yeah, exactly. And then Mister Three with like stopping Magellan in the end. Like there were
yeah.
such crazy moments.
And the ray of hopes help there. They don't just get crushed immediately afterwards. Yeah. And what do you think, Audi? What do you think of the deaths of Ace and Whitebeard?
Uh, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I was not ready for that.
Well, you can imagine my plight, Audi, when I had to read the manga, read about his death, and then he was like 1 month break. I'm like, what? What?
Like I think when I legit I think after reading the chapter I just set down my phone. I was lying down on my bed and I just looked up at the wall like this is the what did I just process right
Yeah.
now? Like is it actually happening? Then I just looked at the panel again and like oh shit, he's actually dead, huh? And then I think was it
And the tears started rolling down your eyes, and we drowned in the river that
and that was
followed.
just Ace, right? I mean, like Ace itself hurt me so much, and then after that they showed Whitebeard dying in that bombastic way, and I was like, "Fuck!" The arc did have
Yeah, the
to end this
Shichibukai.
way. That of all the people to die, it could have been
Yeah.
one of the admirals. It could have been one of the Shichibukai. I think I forgot the
Yeah,
term.
Shichibukai.
Shichibukai, huh? One of the. It could have been one of them. Like I would have cared obviously, but then I wouldn't have cared as much as this. And I think while it was obviously heart wrenching, Oda did a brilliant job at pulling at our heartstrings there. That was a turning
Yeah,
point for every single reader.
What do you guys think of the Goldie Roger chapters in the middle?
about that. That was like amazing. I think I like Wano arc a lot, but when he went to Goldie Roger, that just made it better. I don't know why. That was like because we're always dying to see what he was like, right? Because you see him once in the beginning and you're like, holy fuck, this guy is amazing, and then you don't see him at all.
Yeah,
So when he gives us these
yeah.
like little
It
diamonds,
only took us 23 years to get a
I
view
know,
of the
right?
man.
He gives us these little diamonds. You're like, oh, it was totally worth it. Those chapters are, I think, the best of this arc. Yeah,
What
I
what
totally
I
agree.
find what
Yeah.
I find really interesting is that
Hmm.
Gold Rogers was the name given to him by the government, and he wanted it to be Goldie Rogers because he understood that the initial D has a lot of power to
Hate
it.
the
Hmm.
initial D.
So, oh my God. So he really wants to be called Goldie Rogers because whatever he learned at Laughdale is has really affected him. It made him think about himself as well. It made him think of his own name, and he was like, "Yes,
Yeah.
I'm Goldie Roger."
By the way, speaking of Goldie Roger, War, I want
Yeah.
Dragon, I want Smoker, I want these guys back too.
I think Smoker is just
Oh,
gone
I
from the
do.
scene. I just don't know where he is. He's just been
Yeah,
missing for the
I think by
longest
the
time.
time the war begins, he'll become an admiral or
they
something.
showed him in some SBS, right?
Did they?
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything
Just remember that. Yeah, but
particularly
Dragon has to
important.
come. At least I want to see more of him.
Yeah,
He's still
Dragon.
a
I think
mystery.
if this war goes on long enough or big enough, I
Yeah,
think Dragon will come into.
Dragon, Sabo.
So that's what you expect, and that's the expectation of your future of the future for One Piece. They are
Yeah, they
expecting
need to
Dragon to
reveal.
come in for this
He's
war.
still a big mystery, dude. We need to know more about Dragon.
I think he's the only character that has a veil of
Yeah, that's
mystery
true.
shrouded over him. Like there's not much we know about this guy. Like I think we know more about Goldie Roger than we do know about
Yeah,
Dragon
and I
at this
know
point.
Oda is not gonna Cage of Eden us. They're not gonna release
Yeah,
cool characters like Hades and then never show them again. So
yeah.
I expect a good result for my expectations. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, I actually expect something. I actually expect something different. I want this war to go on. I want there to be deaths, but mainly I want to see if Luffy will fight Shanks or if Blackbeard will kill Shanks before Shanks and Luffy
Why
can
would
fight.
Luffy fight Shanks?
Probably for the One Piece.
No, it's like Shanks is like see Shanks knows
Yeah.
what Laugh Tale entails, right? He stopped at the second last island, and he knows exactly what was there. Gold Rogers told him, and he started crying. There's a reason he
Yeah.
started crying. If that means he understood whatever was there. It could also be that he was crying because Roger told him that he had less than a year to live. But I'm sure Shanks knows, and if he knows,
Yeah.
he knows how to get the second last island. I'm pretty sure
So
he'll
he's
know how to
like a
get the last
guardian, you're
island,
saying?
and
Yeah.
he hasn't
Okay.
so far. So for all
Yeah.
he's like a guardian. For all you know, he probably has the rubbings of the poneglyphs which Roger himself used. So it could have been passed down to him. So I'm pretty sure that he's like a guardian, and
But then,
Roger told him to only let someone worthy of the name with the name D to get in. Or, those who are worthy in
what
different
about
ways.
Buggy? Buggy also was Shanks' best
That's true.
friend. He could also
Yeah,
hold
but
the secret
but
too.
Buggy has been shown to not care about treasures as much as so it could be that going to if One Piece could have one of the weapons. One Piece could have one of uh, the relics of Joy Boy. A lot of stuff, right? It could be ores, something related to ores. So
Buggy is
all these
Buggy.
things are things that Buggy won't be interested in. So he probably thought, there's no treasure. There's just this old shit which I don't care about. Or Buggy is just not good enough to go to the last island.
Again, sorry, but I
Either one.
have to bring
Yeah.
this up now that it came to mind.
Yeah.
Im Sama, the reveal of the head of the Gorosei.
I don't think there's a point talking about him. There's
But then,
literally nothing we know about him except for the fact that we can't even tell his size because of the hat. Is the hat small? Is he small? Is the hat big?
is
Yeah,
his head the hat?
it just makes no sense. We can't talk about him until we get more information. But what do you guys think of this theory that Ors, the original Ors, the continent puller, was villainized by the government because he was trying to save islands from the world government, which is why even in Wano, it's on top of a waterfall instead of being at the bottom. He pulled the island in such a way and placed it in such a way that it made it hard for the world government to go there.
Was there a theory? Was there a some proof behind it, or any sort of
No,
way?
there's no proof.
Yeah.
There's no proof. But he's called the continent puller Ors. So there must be a reason he's pulling the continent. So people thought it was to stop the world government after the
And then
Void
he
It's
went
Century.
and
possible that he can
died
actually just
next to Greco
pull
Moria.
Wano out of the
Yeah,
map itself.
maybe in other islands you never know what else they're pulling out.
Yeah.
But okay, let's
What he just yeeted Skypiea into the sky.
basically, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, okay. So that let's wind down now and go to the last part of this podcast, which is what are the recommendations we give based on One Piece.
Hey, before that, can we
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about Ding Sake? Come
Of
on,
course,
we can't
Brook
go without
MVP.
mentioning Ding
Brook
Sake.
MVP.
Yeah, it's an amazing song. I just wanted
Yeah,
to
it's a
put it
really
out
good
there.
song. You guys should listen to it if you haven't.
But
Like, amazing.
if we talk about recommendations, I recommend Assassin's Creed Black
Yes,
Flag.
it does put you in the mood for a lot of pirate themed things. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an amazing story, but that's all I'm going to talk about. That's my recommendation. Play Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
If it's One Piece, I would suggest you read or watch the other big two, which is Bleach and Naruto.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you haven't already, because One Piece is like one of the more famous ones. So that is definitely my recommendation. But it's hard. You don't have something like One Piece which involves laughter, which involves emotions, which involves deep theory crafting, such attention to detail. I would say you read Hajime no Ippo because that is the closest manga to One Piece's uniqueness that I've seen,
Yeah.
because even that has a lot of emotion, has a lot of funny moments, it has a lot of intense moments, motivational moments, so on and so forth. So we don't
It's
have a
one
lot
of
of
a kind.
recommendations
Yeah.
here because it's just One Piece is just too
I
unique
also,
in its own way. Yeah.
yeah, I also recommend that after reading chapters and getting introduced to new characters, you kind of look up these characters, because there are many real life references. There are
Yeah.
many like Whitebeard, Edward Newgate, and Blackbeard, Thatch, or Teach. So Edward Teach is the real life name for Blackbeard, and the Oda kind of divided it up into
Yeah.
Whitebeard and Blackbeard.
Doesn't
So
he have Bonnie
there
also?
are things
He
like
has
these that you
Bonnie.
can discover
Yeah.
if you
And when they
Exactly.
just take your
combine, they
time
make
reading it.
Greybeard. Dun, dun, dun.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jewelry
Yeah.
Bonnie.
Also, already the recommendation is supposed to be done by us to you, so this is the only time you
Yeah,
can recommend. After this, you just have to listen to what we have to say.
yeah.
But okay. Anyway, that's where we're going to wind up for this episode of Weeb101. We hope you learned something new, and we hope that you will give One Piece a try if you haven't already. If you have, what do you think of the current theories that have been going around? Maybe you could leave a comment talking about why we suck and don't understand the series, but we will respond to you and we can fight about it all day long. So I'm Brew.
And I'm Adi.
Oh shit.
Thank you for joining us in the second episode of Weeb 101. Oh, mate, I almost forgot. Sid, what's next on the list? What's our next episode?
Okay. The next episode is Kimi no
Kimi no Nawa.
Nawa.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
We're going to be talking about Kimi no Nawa, your name, Makoto Shinkai's masterpiece.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you guys are listening to this, go watch it right away if you haven't already. It's amazing. Watch it with someone you love. You'll fall in love for sure. It's a beautiful movie. It's a beautiful experience. And we shall talk about it in our next episode.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us so far. We hope to see you there.
Goodbye.
See ya.
And
Sayonara.